The explainer. So think about this for a second. Every single day you use apps that feel, well, practically like magic, right? They load instantly, they seem to predict exactly what you want to buy, and they store terabytes of your personal data without a single glitch or stutter. But have you ever actually stopped to wonder, where does all that magic actually live? Right? It lives in the cloud. But here's the thing. While everyone right now is endlessly talking about consumer AI tools, the chatbots and image generators, the world's biggest companies are quietly building the future using a massive invisible global infrastructure. And that invisible giant? That's the Google Cloud Platform, or GCP. So today we're going to strip away all the complex corporate jargon and uncover the top 5 Google Cloud products that are actually changing the world as we speak. Because honestly, whether you're an aspiring developer, an entrepreneur, or just deeply curious about how the internet really runs, you absolutely need to know these 5. All right, let's dive right in. Kicking things off at number 1, we have Vertex AI, essentially the brains of the operation. Now, building an AI model from scratch, that used to require a PhD and, well, millions of dollars. But you can think of Vertex AI as a superpowered playground that completely changes the game. Imagine you want to build a self-driving toy car. Instead of building the incredibly complex brain yourself from the ground up, Vertex AI just hands you a pre-built genius-level brain. You literally just have to teach it where your house is. It's brilliant because it brings Google's absolute best machine learning tools right under one roof. We're talking access to their flagship multimodal Gemini models, plus this thing called the Model Garden, which houses major open source and third-party models like Llama 3, Claude 3, and Mistral. Oh, and it even features Vertex AI Studio for super rapid prototyping and grounding, which connects your models to verifiable real-world information via Google Search. This is literally the engine behind today's smarter customer service bots, complex document understanding, and advanced code generation. And the scale here, it is staggering. I mean, Gemini 1.5 Pro features a massive 2 million token context window. To put that into perspective, that means this single model can process enormous chunks of data all at once. Like, we're talking 2 entire hours of video, 22 hours of audio, or over 60,000 lines of code in just a single prompt. It's wild. Okay, moving to number 2. This is a tool designed to handle the absolute biggest headache in modern business, data overload. Number 2 is BigQuery, the data ocean. So every time you click, swipe, or buy something, data is created. Standard databases would literally melt trying to read it all. So imagine a library with a billion books. A normal computer has to read them one by one just to find a specific sentence. BigQuery, on the other hand, instantly hires a million tiny librarians to read every single book at the exact same time. So you get your answer in 2 seconds flat. And here's a perfect example of that massive scale. UPS actually uses BigQuery to power the most precise forecasting in their entire history. GCP gives them the sheer capacity to run machine learning models across 1 billion data points every single day. 1 billion. We're talking package weight, shape, size, and facility capacity across their entire global logistics network. How does it do it? Well, BigQuery is a completely serverless data warehouse. It scans billions of rows of data in seconds using standard SQL. And that's a huge deal because it means developers don't have to learn some completely new language just to use it. It's exactly what allows massive retail and logistics networks to spot trends instantly and adjust their operations in real time. All right, at number 3, we've got GKE, or Google Kubernetes Engine, the ultimate traffic cop. Now, to understand this one, you really need to understand the concept of containers. See, today, developers pack their apps into digital shipping containers, so they run perfectly anywhere. But what happens when thousands of these run at once? It gets messy fast. Think of a massive, incredibly chaotic shipping port. When you have all those containers moving around, you need a serious organizer. Kubernetes acts as the ultimate automated harbor master. It decides exactly where every single container goes, maximizing system resources, and it even automatically restarts containers if they happen to fail. If we look under the hood at the architecture behind this, you essentially have the master node. That contains the API server and scheduler, basically acting as the brain of the operation. And then you have the worker nodes, which are the machines that actually run your pods and containers. GK's magic is that it manages all of this overwhelming complexity for you. It provides automatic scaling, node auto repair, and load balancing, which means you never have to build this massive infrastructure by hand. Fun fact here, Google actually invented Kubernetes internally back in 2014. They built it upon a decade of refining their own internal cluster management system, which they called Borg. And if you look at the industry data today, it shows a pretty staggering reality. The open source Kubernetes project has rapidly become the ubiquitous, absolute gold standard for container orchestration across the entire tech industry.
Moving right along to number 4, we have Cloud Spanner, the Global Vault.
So traditional relational databases are great, right? But they usually scale vertically, which is just a fancy way of saying you have to go buy a bigger, much more expensive server. Cloud Spanner is entirely different. You can think of it as an unbreakable global vault. It actually scales horizontally across regions and continents, so it adds more nodes to handle traffic. But, and here's the kicker, it maintains strict relational semantics. That means it keeps all your data perfectly organized and linked together without ever falling out of sync. And to see how vital this is to enterprise strategy, just consider the economic validation data. Massive organizations heavily rely on cloud infrastructure for their absolute most critical workloads. 49% are running production applications on it, and 47% use it for heavy business intelligence and testing. For operations at that level, downtime simply isn't an option. And that is exactly why Cloud Spanner is so crucial. It guarantees flawless, secure transactions. It uses the Paxos algorithm, which is this highly complex voting system between servers, to instantly replicate your data across multiple geographic regions. So if an entire region goes offline, your data is still completely safe. It provides a 99.999% availability SLA with literally zero planned downtime. It's pretty much the perfect backbone for global e-commerce, massive SaaS platforms, and real-time multiplayer games.
Finally, coming in at number 5, we have Cloud Run, the autopilot engine.
This is a fully managed compute platform that's specifically designed for modern cloud-native application development. Think of Cloud Run as an autopilot engine for your apps. You just write your code your way, using your favorite programming languages, whether that's Go, Python, Java, Ruby, or Node.js. You package it up, and Cloud Run literally flies the plane for you. It handles all the underlying deployment, scaling, and provisioning instantly. It's totally serverless, which is fantastic. It effortlessly deploys your containerized applications and scales them all the way from zero to handling massive, unexpected spikes in traffic, and then scales right back down again to save you money. Plus, it manages secure service-to-service communication based on precise identities, so it only grants apps the exact permissions they absolutely need. Ultimately, it completely frees developers up from managing servers so they can focus purely on building amazing apps. So, the crucial takeaway here is that these aren't just isolated products, right? They are interlocking pieces of a massive global engine. Chris Anisacek, the CTO of the Cloud Native Computing Foundation, hit the nail on the head when he noted that systems like Kubernetes are foundational, and soon they will be absolutely essential to AI as well. Because think about it. You use Vertex AI to build the brain, BigQuery to analyze massive data oceans, and tools like GKE, Spanner, and Cloud Run to serve it all up to the entire world flawlessly. Throughout this explainer, we've explored the very infrastructure that handles billions of data points for UPS, powers massive global multiplayer gaming networks, and delivers the world's most advanced AI models right to your code editor. The digital magic we interact with every day is very real, but now you know exactly how the trick is done. So, with these 5 incredible tools right at your fingertips, what will you build next? Thanks so much for joining me, and keep building.